Good morning and welcome back to thecommittedconservative.com. I'm Rich Kelsey. I'm committed and I'm a conservative. All right, today is Fired Up Friday once again. And what am I fired up about today? Well, lots of things. But let's talk about some late breaking news. And that news is big, it's important, and we're going to cover it, well, responsibly, because that's what committed conservatives do. According to a report from the Associated Press, there is an 11-page draft memo out of the Trump White House suggesting that they may employ 100,000 National Guardsmen across 7 states and 4 others. So I guess that's 11. That will be deputized to help ICE in enforcement of our immigration laws. Pretty big deal, not a small deal. Needless to say, people are flipping out. And of course, flipping out is what we do now because there's a lot of feeling in our country and not enough thinking. So let's work through the issue rationally. First of all, it's important to recognize that the Trump administration has denied such a plan to do this. They have officially said that the president is not considering doing this. They haven't denied the existence of the 11-page memo, which is good because the 11-page memo apparently actually exists, according to the Associated Press, and significant people are quoted from it and in it. So clearly the memo exists. It appears to be the position today of the White House that the president is not considering this option. But let's work through it. First of all, it's important to recognize and understand. You can't bring out the military to complete a military function. And while many of us think of the National Guard as a quasi-military operation, if they're deputized for a law enforcement purpose, they certainly can do that. I don't think there's any question about that under the law. And in fact, the National Guard performs a whole host of functions that are non-military, and they help us out as a federal group in disasters and a host of other issues. So if they were brought out and deputized for a law enforcement purpose, I believe this would pass muster, constitutionally speaking. Now, there are a lot of political issues. Let's face it. You can believe the outright falsehood that there's 11 million illegal aliens in this country. Believe that if you want, okay? The numbers far exceed that. There's a lot of expert analysis that demonstrate why it exceeds that number. And the fact that the federal government has used that bogus number for 12 years ought to be a red flag, because what they're essentially telling you is that over the last 11 years, the number has not changed, has not gone up. We've either lost some illegal aliens and they've been replaced, or we have not had more illegal aliens over the last 11 or 12 years. We know that to be utter nonsense. A more responsible number is probably 15 to 20 million, and I have seen numbers and analysis that bring that number much higher, okay? But here's the critical point. These folks come from blended families. Many of them have parents and grandparents who are still illegal aliens or were illegal aliens and have since become American citizens. The number of people in our country who are sympathetic to illegal aliens because of this blending issue and because of the size and scope of the problem is dramatic. It's huge. And this notion that politically we are able to do anything about it anymore is probably wrong. It's sad, but it's true. You have a whole segment of society that does not want to address the issue of illegal aliens. And in fact, they believe people who have jumped the line, who are toll gate runners to the American dream, leaving behind those who play by the rules, those folks, because they broke the law, because they're here, and because they could tell interesting human stories about them, that somehow they have a right, a squatter's right to American citizenship and to not be removed. That, of course, is utter nonsense. But the practical and political reality is removal of non-citizens is a remarkably difficult job. And it will not stand up to political scrutiny because besides the enormous number of people who are opposed to it because they are directly impacted either as illegal aliens or have illegal aliens who are among their family and friends, you have an entire political apparatus, the hard left, the alt left, and the Democratic Party, who will do anything to destroy Trump, anything at all. And so you then draw that group into this entire mess, and you wind up with a near majority of people who will combat any effort to combat illegal immigration. And so if the president were to roll out 100,000, 50,000, or any thousands of troops under the guise of the National Guard, it would be complete and total political anarchy. Now, having said that, I personally think it's a bold and aggressive move. I personally think that President Trump, who I often disagree with and often criticize, is looking at this like a business person. What are the resources needed? What is the problem? How do I address the problem? Of course, he's not looking at it like president and politician, which means in some ways he is pushing aside the practical reality that politically this would be just short of war on the streets of the United States of America. So can the president do it legally? I believe he can. Can he do it politically? I believe he cannot. Should he do something to address the issue of illegal immigration? He absolutely should. But far more importantly, once again, rolling back to our consistent, committed, conservative principles, the answer lies in the legislature. The answer lies with Congress. That's where the answer lies. They need to do their job. And their job is to protect and secure this country. Their job, if they do it correctly, is to encourage vibrant, responsible, legal immigration. We're virtually all immigrants. Few of us can claim in any way, shape, or form that we are from the indigenous people who have been on this continent for thousands and thousands of years. We're all immigrants, plain and simple. So we need a practical solution. We need a common sense solution. But make no mistake about it. We cannot have a policy that rewards criminal behavior and encourages additional criminal behavior. I don't know what this policy is going to be, but if we do not address the issue of anchor babies, if we do not address the issue of free K through 12 education for illegal immigrants, we will always have in place a set of incentives, no matter what we do with this group, that makes it desirable for immigrants to come here, to break our laws. You can build a fence that's 30 feet high, they'll get a ladder that's 31 feet high. We have to eliminate the incentives that draw people here illegally, and we have to reward people and make it easier for people to come here legally. Those two things have to happen, and it's the job of our Congress. Then it can be signed by the president, and then we have a federal republic system that actually works. Folks, I don't think we're going to see National Guardsmen on our streets. I don't think we're going to be rounding up illegal aliens just for being here illegally, although I think it's perfectly legal to do so. We're not going to see that. But the news is broken today. That report is out there, and somebody somewhere in that operation thought this might be an option. Is it legal? Yes. Yes, it is legal, in my opinion. Haven't looked at it hard, but on its face, it appears legal. Not practical, and it's not going to happen. What is ultimately going to happen in this country, somewhere, somehow, we are going to return to our roots as a conservative republic. Okay? Make sure you understand that. This is by nature a conservative nation. That is because that's how we were founded. Those are the rules that we play by. And we're going to return to this notion of federalism, and we are going to have to fix these problems together. That is the only solution if we want to remain a United States. That's what I'm fired up about today, and it's Fired Up Friday. So listen, keep coming back, keep checking us out, tweet us, post us, write us, talk about us. We are thecommittedconservative.com. We're committed, and we're conservative.